In our editorial for tonight, we have an overview of Boyi County, with a focus discovering Boyi County, its history, its culture, and its beautiful tourist sites. Let's start with Kumbo Council, brief presentation of the council area. The heart of Boyi County beats in Kumbo, the second largest town in the Midland zone of southern Cameroon, with a surface area of 630 square kilometers. Kumbo is about 110 kilometers away from Bamenda, the chief town of the Midland region. Population-wise, Kumbo counts over 216,000 inhabitants, spread in over 43 villages, including Bambui, Banzeng, Bamkikai, Bamcove, Bangam, Fur Cove, Jim, Vekakwi, Kai, Keri, Kikaikom, Kikiakalaki, Kiko, Kimbo, Kingomen, Kishi, Kitiwum, Kitumen, Kian, Kongir, Marem, Mba, Mboku, Mbotong, Mbuluf, Ve, Melim Muluf, Zin, Nzenjin, Njavium, Nkuf, Ntongi, Nseni, Rovitangta, Romanjai, Sakir, Shisong, Shuf, Tadu, Tobin, Toi, Ye. The main language spoke here is the Nso language. Furthermore, there are other ethnic groupings within the municipality. These include Noni, Kom, Oku, Mbiame, Wimbum, and the Fulani Bororo. They each have their own languages. Kumbo shares its boundaries with Nkum to the north, Mvame to the east, and to the south by Jakiri, then to the west by Oku Noni. It is a mountainous town with three distinctive hilly settlements, the Tobin, Mve, and Squares. In Kumbo, there is a wide diversity of landscapes, and its rivers are punctuated with rapid, spectacular waterfalls with boiling foams. These waterfalls empty themselves into the main rivers of the town rivers Boyi and Rukimbo. It is worth noting that Boyi got its name from River Boyi, while Kimbo, which is the original appellation for Kumbo, got its name from River Rukimbo. Tobin, one of the major settlements, is the administrative seat of the town. They is the commercial center, and Squares harbors the residence of the paramount fund of Nso, known as Ntoso. The urban space of the Kumbo Council area is characterized by population concentration in Ve, Tobin, Kimbo Squares, and Shisong, with as expanse of empty land in between. Each population concentration has its own peculiarity as follows. Tobin is the government residential area with many office and residences. The population of Shisong was attracted by the existence of the early Catholic Church, followed by the existence of the St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and they is the main commercial area, having the main market of the council area. This is also the main center of the Muslim population. The population of Kimbo Squares is influenced by the presence of the cathedral, the main Presbyterian church, the Baptist hospital, and the Nso Palace. There is also a market and other economic activities taking place. The population decreases as one moves away from these core areas. Now, the historical profile. Kumbo Council was created since 1977 out of the defunct Nso Area Council, which was created from the Southwestern Federation with headquarters in Ndop. Before the creation of the council, His Royal Highness the Fon of Nso, Sem Ata, administered Nso with assistance from the funds of Oku, Mbiame, Nse, Nkar, and Zin. These funds had a common council presided at by the Fon of Nso, where they planned and made rules to keep away all evils from their various fundoms. The funds were members, and so shared boundaries with people of Kom, Boom, Babungo, Babesi, Fumban, Ntame, and Mbun. Each fund respected his own position, and there was no power wrangling. They lived in harmony with each other. Colonial administration grouped Nso, Bafut, Ndop, and native authorities to the Bamenda Southeastern Federation of Native Authorities in the 1940s. The Nso Native Authorities split up from the Union in 1960, and by 1st April 1961, the Nso Area Council was created, which administratively fell under a subdivision. And so rose to a subdivision that is local government area now on November 4th, 1963, and became a full division that is county on December 15th, 1966. And according to the interim government's geopolitical nomenclature, it is qualified a county. Evolutionally, the Kumbo Council was created in 1977. Kimbo, which constitutes the largest part of the Kumbo urban municipality, is the center of the whole Kumbo town and has a long history behind it. It is the seat of Nso Fundum. Fon Simbum migrated in 1820 to Kimbo and started with the construction of the Nso Palace from Kovi Fem, which is the residence of the present Fon. The famous cathedral of the landmarks of Kumbo was constructed in 1955. Its foundation stone was laid by Sembu Atar, Fon of Unso, in February 1955, under the pastoral leadership of His Lordship Bishop P. Rogan. Now let's take a look at the brief Unso history. The Unso Fundum, a typical grass field of southern Cameroon's way of saying kingdom, since they call their king a Fon, was actually started by a woman, and this woman, Ngongso, was a princess of another tribe in the Adamawa regions of the Cameroons and Nigeria. But she left that tribe along with her two brothers when a dispute between lineage and succession arose in the early 13th. The three siblings traveled to the northwest, but before they could settle anywhere together, arguments arose and they each went their separate ways, each to establish a separate tribe. Small following of loyal friends arrived in the Kovi Fem area and established themselves as the benevolent rulers over the people that were already living there. After the death of Ngongso, one of her sons became Fon, and from that point forward, the position of Fon has been inherited by men, sons of the Fon Nso. The Nso tribe grew quickly, and the Fon's power came not from material wealth, but strong adherence to traditional hierarchy and the belief that the Fon was not just a single man, but the representation of all the ancestors ruling over the people. This meant that for the ruling class, these traditions were much more important than becoming rich. So over the years, the taboos, secret societies, and hierarchical structures of the Nso society transformed from beliefs to facts. For example, even people that have been educated abroad and spent time away from Banso will tell you that they can't explain why, but if you break certain societal rules, bad things eventually happen. In one recent incident that occurred before the arrival to the post, a few German volunteers living in Kumbo had a large quantity of electronics stolen from their apartment. They knew that the thief had to be among a certain group of people that were present on that night, and so after the police and gendarmes investigated and told them it was hopeless, the girls went to the Fon. Members from the Werong Society, a secretsmen-only society that functions, amongst other things, as a peacekeeping force, went to each of the people on this list, inviting them to the palace on a certain date to swear that they were innocent of the crime. Every Banso man and woman know that if you lie in the face of the Fon and nobility, you will be cursed forever, and horrible things will happen to you, according to the tradition. Now, the girls awaited, and the day before the appointed oath swearing was to take place, every single stolen item was found on their porch, wrapped in plastic. Pretty amazing power, isn't it? Well, after some time, no one seems to be able to give a good time estimate, but it would have to be before the arrival of the Germans to the Midland zones, that is in the late 18th. Now, the social organization, the Nso people have a very strong social spirit that can be compared to only a few ethnic groups within the Midland region of southern Cameroons. Traditionally, at the level of the family, there is a very strong bond between parents and children. More so, each family is attached to a big compound whose head has certain powers over the families that fall under it. He relates with the village head and at times with the Fon when need be. Here, there is a shrine where the ancestors are invoked in times of ill health, marriage, farming, etc. At the level of the village, there exists either a Shufai or a Fei who commands a lot of respect and authority, and is compared only next to the Fon, therefore he represents the Fon at this level. Like the head of the big compound, he performs certain rites to cleanse the village, Therefore, he is seen as a priest of the ancestral cult and relates directly with the Fon and contributes in enacting laws executed by Ngwerong. He also arbitrates in conflict that occur within the village. There are some Shufais who are traditional lineage heads with hereditary titles, Vibai Vewang. The ancestors of these lords were at Kovi Fem and served as close advisors to the Fon. The second group, Vibai Vinso, came to Unso as independent chiefs and surrendered their royal prerogatives to the Fon of Unso. They were thus allowed to rule their villages as Shufais. They are not admitted into the exclusive club of the 7 Kebai Ke Samba. They include Shufai Senla of Kikai Kilaki, Shufai Donrun, and Shufai Dongwen, both of Kituum. The third group is known as Vibai Vekpu or Vibai Dui. They are equally 7 in number, and they're great lords who carry out the burial of the Fon and are charged with the maintenance of the royal grave huts. These include Bashwin, Shubui, Njavinyu, Nzim, Zenziv, Ntinting, Bambui, in replacement of Senlayer, Tawe, and Kongir. Now let's take a look at the secret society. Membership into secret societies is generally limited to certain classes or groupings. These societies are equally close to the Fon and to power, and their members are constituted from among the common or distant relatives of the royal lineage. In Gwerang, membership here is drawn from Unso male commons, nobles of no royal descent, Vibai, Zenzev, Tangkum, and Lun, the Fon of Unso. Some sources hold that it was acquired at Kovifem when Shufai Tangkum surrendered it to the Unso people alongside his chieftaincy title in a bid to join the Unso people. Other sources hold that the Unso people had a form of Ngwerong which was only strengthened by that acquired from Shufai Tangkum. Now in Ngiri, this institution developed as a result of the fact that princes of Unso were forbidden from participating in the Ngwerong. This is because the Fon who was chosen from among the princes wielded too much power, and if princes who were naturally the brothers of the Fon were to control Ngwerong, there would be no counterforce to absolute dictatorship by the royal family. There is a lot of confusion as to when Ngiri was created or by whom. However, its Tikar origin is clear, especially from Bamun. This could be justified by the fact that most tribes have close link with the Bamun, and the Bamun themselves have the Ngiri society. This institution grew to a point where it started usurping the functions of Ngwerong. This was checked in 1935 when Ngwerong agents raided and destroyed the Ngiri shrine. Some degree of rivalry still occurred though. Membership into Ngiri is limited to princes and the Dui. Before 1935, princesses could belong to Ngiri, but today, no woman is allowed. The Ngiri is strictly considered by the Unso people as a princely fraternity with little administrative functions. However, some senior members of Ngiri are advisors to the Fon and do participate in some policy issues. The Manjong. This institution evolved as the traditional militia and an organ from waging war when the Unso people were still at Kovifem. In the absence of any formal army, any Unso man fit enough, brave enough, and patriotic enough belonged to the Manjong. This was a very important institution, given the need at the time to protect the Unso people and land and to carry out policies of spreading Unso hegemony. Members supplied their own weapons and war attire and were always ready when summoned by the traditional war drum. Mfomi and other military titles developed. The Manjung later acquired the Mfu War Lodge from the Bamum as war booty, and it has become a very important lodge today. Other lodges created include Nchoro, Juing, and Meku. In the absence of intertribal wars, members of the Manjung showed their prowess during the Fon's annual hunting expedition in its 2 reserves of Mbokam and Mbokwiven. This has died out with the prohibition but the government of the killing of most wild animals. Presently, the members of the 4 lodges of the Mahjong simply meet regularly, share wine, and discuss issues concerning the Unso people and information from the palace. However, the functions of the Manjung have been redirected towards communal labor. It is very active in construction and maintenance of roads, bridges, schools, and more. As you know, we're in the drafting season, which is why we'll continue this piece with the Nkum local government area, Jakiri local government area, Nko local government area, and Mbiame local government area. But for now, we've come to the end of our editorial for tonight. If you want more such beautiful articles, kindly visit our website at www.abcambertv.com for more. Subscribe, become a club member, and a part of this winning strategy. Find our payment details on your screen. I am Star Smart, reporting for Undaunted ABC Amber TV.